In the second quarter, and already his second touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game, and I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his second extra point here in the first half. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Throwing again on second down. Prescott. And he coughed it up. But I believe a Cowboy was there to get it. He was, and Dallas will maintain possession. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
Able to hang on to the ball this time, and in the process picks up the first down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Let's go.
First down, Prescott. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today. Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
On third down, Elliott. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on fourth down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. So they go on fourth down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
This offense comes back out onto the field. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Prescott. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
A lot of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Up the middle, here's Elliott. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down. They're indeed going for it. It's Prescott. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Jackson on 1st down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off.
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Devin Duvernay in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens continue to pull away here in this first half. Tucker with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And with only 9 seconds remaining, well, not much time, we'll see how they play this. The first down carry by Elliott doesn't amount to much as he'll get forward for about a couple. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. And how about this right out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators, they sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed.
And this is caught. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 48 yards.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough,
and he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens extend their lead yet again. Tucker now for the extra point. And that is off the left upright. It's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Taken at the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that'll be incomplete.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the third quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball. And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Now Prescott on 4th down. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for 1st down.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And now a whistle and a timeout called by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Here's Brian Anger now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback.
Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring.